In the previous video, we learned that there are two types of data, primitive types and object types. Now we are going to focus on this primitive type, and we'll see how we can define these types inside our TypeScript file. Now, previously we saw that here we have this const username and the value is John, and if I hover over on this, you will see the type of this username is John, right? But if I use this let here instead of this const, and if I hover over on this username, then you will see the type of this username is now string. And now if I try to reassign the value, and the value, let me assign this 56. Now the TypeScript is complaining here because the type is number and we're trying to assign it inside the type string. But previously we saw that whenever we try to run this, or whenever we try to compile this hello.ts file, even though here we have this error, we will have that JavaScript file created for us. Now I'll show you how we can omit this, and for that I'm going to simply save this file. Let's open the terminal. I'm going to clear out everything. Now let's type this tsc, and here I'm going to add this -- emit on error, and I'm going to add this hello.ts at the end. And now if I press enter, here you can see we have this error, and here we have all these messages, and this is the exact message which we have right here. But if you notice here, now we don't have that hello.js file, and that is because of this thing, okay? But here we don't have to worry about all these things, because most of the time whenever we want to work with Next.js or React.js, we will have those template with us with the correct TypeScript configuration, so we don't have to worry about all these things. But I just wanted to show you how we can omit these things if we want to inside this local environment. Okay, now let's come back to this types thing again. Now previously I showed you that whenever I hover over on this, here we'll have this type string, and it's called Type Inference. Even though here I'm not specifying the type like this string, this TypeScript will figure out on its own the type of this variable is string. Okay, now here if I use another thing right here, now here I have this new variable, new user, and I'm assigning the value from inside this username. And if I hover over on this, you can see now the type of this new user is also a string, and this is called Type Inference, where even though we are not defining this type explicitly, this TypeScript has the brain to figure out what the type of this data. Now if I use something else here, now I'm using this boolean value, and here you can see now if I hover over on this, you will see this boolean value. And now if I hover over on this new user, then you will see the type of this new user is true, and that is because here we are using const and we cannot reassign the value for this new user. Okay, like now I can't do this new user and I cannot assign any new value here. That's not how this JavaScript works with this const, and that is why here we have the value for this new user which is true. But now if I change this to let, you will see here now we have this type boolean, and this is called Type Inference, where you don't have to specify the type. If you don't want to, your TypeScript will figure out. In the next video, we'll see how we can explicitly define types for our variables.